we're so focused on making the content, and fortunately, like most of our revenue comes from the sponsors. And so we're able to travel around the world. We're able to spend money on the flights and the accommodations and the crazy
the watches, the dripping
and the crazy $15 Casio.
Yeah, the G-Wagons.
We're able to do what we do because of the sponsors, and right now it's enough, but we want to always be improving. And so now we're thinking like, well, what if we created a product or a service? And we're always having discussions about how we can do that. But at some point, I always wonder, like if we just focus on making better content, then we get better, like higher paying sponsors, the same sponsors, we love the sponsors, higher paying sponsors because we're getting more views, and it's like a cycle because of that. But part of me also wonders, like, should we focus our efforts on something else?
My thought with that is that I am happy also doing what we're doing now. And I kind of worry that like we're good at this thing. If we take our eye off the prize,
service.
We don't. But if we take the eye off what we're good at now, are we just adding more onto the plate where we don't need to, where we have a really great balance and a great life and things are going well?
And if we're just trying to create something for the sake of creating something, then maybe it won't be perfectly terrific. But right now, if we're just focusing on making the best content for you guys, the ones watching, then hopefully it's a pretty good product.
Well, I have so many thoughts on this. Do we have 5 minutes? Because I think I have a very in-depth answer for this. So basically, I see this as a spectrum. So it's a continuum that exists for, and this is specific for creators in terms of how to monetize. And so it's basically a spectrum that has risk and capital and effort kind of on either side. So like low risk, low capital effort, high risk, high capital, high effort. So all the way on the left, you have sponsorships, right? Which is what you're doing now. Cool. You make money from doing the same thing. 1 degree to the right of that would be like an affiliate relationship. Like Adobe says, hey, we'll give you 20% of all of them lifetime. It's like, okay, cool. Adobe, hit them up. You have an affiliate relationship. The next is when it starts to get a little bit, you have your drop ship, right? Your white label. You find somebody who just puts, and you did this with a coffee, I think, back in the day, right? Like you have that kind of middle ground. So somebody else is gonna manage everything. I'm just gonna promote it, but I'm gonna own the brand, and that's that. The next degree here is where you have you find an existing business where you can negotiate some percentage of equity in the business, and ideally distributions and or royalties, which I'm a big advocate for creators to do both. Because you have costs associated with running your business, your side of the marketing, right? And the business makes money because it's monetizing with whatever traffic you're sending, but you need to keep advertising. And so having some either, profit share or some royalty on top line or some sort of cash flow still needs to come back, because not all companies sell. Actually, the vast majority don't sell. And so I think it balances some of the risk for a creator, but that would be a minority deal, especially with a company or a product that you really like. And so if Adobe were smaller and would give you a percentage of, the company, that would be one where it's like, and ideally, this is me turning the tables and speaking to you as an investor. It's the best is when you can write a check to, because then it's like, there's no expectations. I'm going to promote this because I believe in it and because I want it to grow and I want to get a crazy return on the money that I put into it. And so you'll have some blend of that deal, but usually for minority stake and maybe some performance tranches that kick in based on, how well you do it. And then the final one, the final frontier is where you actually like do everything yourself. Like the whole thing, soup to nuts, is like you're starting a business. That's, Jimmy with Feastables, right? Like he's really just starting a chocolate thing and finding cocoa nibs in Africa and doing all this stuff, right? And so the upside is typically higher on this side, lower on this side in terms of the enterprise value of what you're promoting, but so is the risk and the difficulty. And the idea that I think a lot of people miss out on is like, it's so much about the partners that you're bringing in on this side that they have to, like, in my opinion, for a true partnership to work, they have to be able to be successful without you. And if they're already growing, they're already successful. This is like school. Like school's gonna be successful either way. I just want to pull the future towards us faster. You need a partner who is as good as you are or better. Ideally, just amazing at that thing, and you're amazing at this thing, and then it's like the sum of the parts is where the magic happens. But that's basically the continuum. But if you're going to do anything to the right of center there, and you're not just like, I'm either sponsoring or doing an affiliate deal, I think you can do, like, I think the best deals is kind of like the school deal where you put cash in, you know, buy a big stake, you also promote. Like, those are deals where it's like, I think, again, in terms of behavior, what is this going to change about what I do? And I would like to do deals that change as little or nothing about what I do. If I'm always going to make content anyways, and I'm already getting 2/3 of people who want to start a business, then I don't need to change anything. Now, it's still high leverage because I just point them in a direction. I'm like, hey, I vetted this. I think it's awesome. I think it's a really good product. Check it out. And it's a free trial. If you don't like it, cancel. Right? That is basically my, and I would use that if I were you guys as my decision-making variable, which is, you both accurately said it. We're really good at this thing. And the more we do this thing, the better we get at it. We get more views. We get the sponsorships continue to grow. Fine. We can do some of these other deals as long as it changes nothing about what we do. And so I think that's the frame that you have to enter those conversations with, which is like, I'm already sponsoring. So me slotting your product in, which I also happen to own a piece of and get some kickback on, it doesn't change anything about what we do. But then that gives you some long-term upside and maybe a higher distribution.
This would be really interesting. How about this for anybody watching? If you have a business that you think would align with what we're doing and you want the distribution, I'd be really interested to see who reaches out from this.
That's a great idea. And also Adobe. And also, if you guys would be interested if we were to create, because Graham and I have thought about this, and we've helped a lot of people just in consulting with content, specifically podcasting. If you guys think that there would be demand for that, so that's something that you'd want to see. If we went all the way in depth, pre-production, production, post-production, research, etc., let me know.
I'd be open to that too. Yeah, I tried something on my own. I'll just talk about it briefly. I put a little feeler out there for like a networking community, and I was shocked. We've got thousands of people who reached out who said, I just want to be a part of a network of like other entrepreneurs.
A community on school, perhaps.
No, so we started at the very top of the list, people who made more than 10 million a year. And I just didn't even think of, I just wanted to go and talk to these people. I probably talked to like 20 people. It's the least scalable thing I could possibly do because I'm like talking one-to-one with certain people. It's not.
Okay.
Not when people want.
Don't go up against. I see that focus in his eyes. Don't go up against that.
But so far, we got a group of like a dozen people
who are doing over 10.
Who are doing over 10 million a year. And it's just the coolest group of like it's something magic when you have a small community like that versus something that's too big.
I'm big on communities.
But I say when it's not scalable in the sense that once you get, it seems like from. I've spoken with quite a few people on this. Once you get more than like 30 or 40 people, you start to lose that one-on-one connection that made it special in the beginning.
It's really about subgroups. So if you look at like, is it scalable at the current model? No, but our community is scalable for sure. So if you look at, you look at Y Combinator, they have a much larger community than that. It's really cool. If you look at Vistage, which is a community model. If you look at YPO, if you're familiar with them, Young Professionals Organization, they run, they're national and they have chapters, but they keep the forums to like 8 people. And so that's how they keep you have access to the whole network because you're like, oh, I'm also a YPO person. I got vetted. I'm above a certain level. So you have that kind of cred, but like the actual super close knit group is like 8 people and they meet in person. And so that's why I think I think for sure there's demand for something like that because all successful people want to be around other successful people because it's really lonely.
That was the one thing I was surprised about when I was speaking with all of those people. Only one of them said that their goal was to make more money. Only one. And that meant that maybe 30 people said, I don't care about making more money. All I care about is meeting other people who share the similar problems that I've gone through.
Lonely.
And most of the problems are pretty surface level, it seems like. And it's like tax planning, estate planning, raising a family, random business issues that come up.
Inheritance, whatever.
Things like this. But I was shocked how common everybody, all the commonalities between everyone.
Human problems have existed for human lifetimes.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.